even no money to waste. In fact, I would be like what our people would call, in vernacular, I would be JAJUOK at this stage to spend, to waste public money. It is not there. I've been saying, hata kama ni kuiba, Mmeiba ya kutosha, pesa hakuna ya kuiba saa hii. There is no money in this government to steal, I will tell you. Unless you now just want Kenyans to die.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mimi ningependa kuuliza Bwana Waziri, as far as public participation is concerned, ningependa kujua ni mikakati gani ambapo mumeweka so that the common mwananchi hapa chini yeye pia anaweza kuwa na usemi na decision making ambao mnafanya pale juu.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. Now may I get one from the opposition leader, Bunge la Wananchi National.
Bunge power. I am the remaining Wamalwa Kijana and the representative of Raila in Bunge, because he's the face of opposition. Tangu Gauja aingie kwa serikali, siku hizi anavaa soft leather, Oxford. Waziri, umesema hapa kuhusu things like austerity measures, kupunguza expenditure ya serikali, ndo at least watu wapate nafuu. But juzi in the media, we saw that your office had allocated some hundreds of millions for members of the cabinet to be flying around. And it was actually a scandal in the papers that you and the other expert, Opio and I, are the flying experts. So that's a question number one. Question number two, Mr. Speaker, I am really concerned about the well-being of our payslips as the working class, because the rumor has it that the NSSF will go up and the VAT and so forth. So we will need you to address how are you going to stop or reduce the raid on our payslips. Thank you very much. I'm the opposition leader, JAJUOK.
Thank you very much, JAJUOK. Third question will come from CPA Kiberenge. Kindly let us save time and let us be precise, okay?
Thank you, honorable members and CS John Mbadi. I want to pose this question to the CS, that the shareable revenue for counties for financial year 2024-2025 was 410 billion Kenya shillings. In this projected finance policy, the CS is allocating to counties shareable revenue 405 billion. And if you read, you will see that it will progressively reduce. This 410 billion is 9% of the total budget. And if you read it, it will progressively reduce. In 2026-2027, it will reduce to 8.7. 2027-2028, it will reduce to 8.2. So, CPA John Mbadi, Bwana CS, don't you think you will go down in our history as the CS who came to kill devolution by reducing resources to devolution? Thank you.
Thank you very much, CPA Kiberenge. Is Mike around? Mike, voice of trained members of Bunge la Wananchi, chairperson, Mike.
Okay, asante sana Bunge la Wananchi na ofisi ya Ministry of Finance ofisi ya Finance Ministry. Tunashukuru sana kama Bunge la Wananchi. Tumekuwa tukiuliza swali mingi na leo tunashukuru umefika kusikiza. Okay, nilikuwa nauliza, kuna wakati watu walikuwa naambiwa wa form groups alafu waungane wapate certificates za groups, Wakishapata certificates, alafu kuna pesa yenye watakuwa napewa, wanaanzisha nayo biashara. So ninataka kuuliza bwana CS, hiyo mipango imefika wapi? Na tutasema.
Chairperson, bunge la wananchi electoral body, Makolonde. Order members, there is a protocol here.
Bunge la wananchi, kwa majina ni Makolonde, member and former official wa bunge. All protocol observed. I'll go direct to the question. I'm also a policy and governance researcher. So I took time and I interacted with the plan. And I saw a similarity between it and FDR's the New Deal. And if you look at FDR New Deal, you realize that there are 3 R's. But unfortunately in Kenya, we are only pursuing the 2 R's. The first R was recovery of the economy. And as the CS has rightly said, if you look at the microeconomics, they are improving and the economy is improving. The second R was reforming the financial sector. And I'm glad the chair of KRA is here. And you can confirm that they are trying to expand the tax base and reform the financial sector so that we don't go back to where we are. Now the problem is the third R, relief for the unemployed and the poor. You find that when it comes to that, for 2 years down the line, there's nothing that is really being done to reduce or mitigate the kind of lives that the poor are living. Now, in March, they normally say, because we were here with the Gaucho and the rest, when we were actually demonstrating cost of living. If you look at the numbers, the cost of living has reduced. We have to admit that. But unfortunately in Marx they say any number, if you multiply any number by 0, or 0 divided by any number, the answer is 0. The problem we have is, yes, unga has reduced from 250 to 150, but if you have 0 in your pocket, you can't afford it even if it's 15 bob. Secondly, so FDR, the solution that he gave, because I don't want to only challenge you without giving some of the solution, was expanding, and he created major infrastructure development. I remember our president said that the housing project was about creating employment. He even reintroduced Kazi Mtaani under environment or something. But if you look at the uptake, it is negligible. It's negligible. So Waziri, this is a challenge to you. What can be done so that in the next financial year, this financial year that we are coming into, you put up measures that can actually put money in the pockets of wananchi. Thank you very much.
In the interest of time, I think we will again introduce another linear of questions. So may I welcome Waziri to respond to the question which have been asked as we proceed. It is time for expert.
It is time for expert.
Umingo Magara nimesikia amekasirika. Tutaangalia maneno ya Umingo Magara. Now, let me quickly address these questions because I've been told tutakuwa na round nyingine, si ndio? Sasa Bakari SG ameuliza, what plans do we have in place to do public participation? First, wacha nianze na admission that the way we have conducted public participation before has left the bigger segment of our society because it was more formal, more academic, too professionalized. Yet tuko na watu wengi hapo chini ambao wako na maoni tofauti tofauti, lakini kupata nafasi ya kuengage na sisi imekuwa shida. Kwa hivyo, in this coming budget, we will try as much as possible to make sure that we engage you in a more informal manner, like we have just started here at the Jivanji Garden, so that we don't speak only to some elites somewhere. We put meeting at KICC and only elites come to give their views. We must devolve this public participation and we must also engage at informal levels. Now, opposition leader has asked me that there were austerity measures that we are putting in place and then they have seen choppers. To be honest, we have not adjusted any money for public transport upwards, nothing. The issue that I saw in the media was that there was an advertisement for chopper services. You can advertise for any service in government. That does not mean we are taking that service. Because for any government service, it must be competitively tendered for. Now, the issue of choppers, let me be candid. You know, there are also some politics that we play at our own levels. Don't think everybody loves Mbadi. Not everybody loves me. And that is the nature of politics. I have used chopper before on 3 occasions to government functions. Number one, I have just talked to you about going to Tena River. I left Nairobi after a meeting at the State House to go to Tena River and back. I don't know whether I would have made it using my car. I wouldn't have. So I had to go to Tena River and really see for myself. As I said, long gone are days when Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury would be on 14th floor from January 1st to December 31st without engaging with wananchi. You can go with your car, but if it is not practical, then you can also get this fastest means. Especially the project that I went to look at, those are projects that are funded through climate financing. This is what we call the financing in terms of local communities, FLOCA. The second one is when I went to Kakamega, there were issues with the expenditure of FLOCA funds. I had to go to see for myself, because we even stopped the bank account of Kakamega County on that. I didn't want to be someone who sits here and money is probably being embezzled elsewhere. I had to go and witness myself. And from there, I went to another function of FLOCA in Kisumu. So let me ask you, once I finish that and I want to go to my rural home, does the chopper drop me on the road and come back to Nairobi and I walk to my home? The chopper will definitely drop me at my home. So that is exactly what I did. After I finished the 3 events, one in Kakamega, another one in Kisumu, 2 in Kisumu actually, where we were with Governor Nyang'nyong. After that, I could not be dropped in Kisumu to walk to Suba. Suba was very nearby. Before they come back to Nairobi, I was dropped home and the chopper came back to Nairobi and I drove back to Nairobi when my time to come to Nairobi came. The last one was the issue of tree planting and also to go and launch electricity projects together with Wandai. I don't know what this person who brought this, the problem he had with electricity in Suba. Suba people have not had electricity for years, for decades. If they get electricity and we go there for official government function, I don't know how that is affecting someone. So really, we are trying not to be wasteful. We are trying to be very prudent. There is even no money to waste. In fact, I would be like what our people would call, in vernacular, I would be JAJUOK at this stage to spend, to waste public money. It is not there. I've been saying, hata kama ni kuiba, Mmeiba ya kutosha, pesa hakuna ya kuiba saa hii. There is no money in this government to steal, I will tell you. Unless you now just want Kenyans to die. Now, I think I spent so much time on that. Let me move to NSSF going up. Yes, a law was passed too many years back on NSSF to increase it to a percentage of salary, 6%. That law, it's only that it is being implemented today. But let me tell you, Sahi, you may not see the value of saving for retirement. But as a personal finance advisor, I would tell you, you need to save money for your retirement. In fact, from day one. Sahi, because many of us probably are younger, ask someone like me, I am now turning 54 this year, 54 this year. If I was working in a formal employment where my retirement is 60, I have no more than 6 years. But mine is even worse, because I don't know about tomorrow. I can be rendered jobless anytime. Therefore, now I've started feeling the need to have pension in my pocket. That is why, one of the reasons, I also brought that amendment so that I protect also myself when I retire. That when I get my pension, I take the whole of it without surrendering anything to the government. But VAT, take it from me, we are not increasing VAT at all. Actually, the finance bill of this year may not have any tax adjustment upwards in terms of rates, which are we cannot overtax Kenyans anymore. We have reached a limit where we are saying no more space for taxation, especially on employment income. You will not see any more taxes on employment income under my watch as a CS. CPA Kiberenge, shareable revenue, I hear you very well. Actually, it was 418 billion for 2024-25. You are saying it has come down to 2025-26 to 405 billion. That is true. Do you know why? I'll explain. 2023-24, the government budgeted to transfer money to the counties. But by the end of the year, we had not given counties 31 billion shillings, 30.8. So that 30.8 was revoted in 24-25. So the shareable revenue was 387 for 24-25, 387. But because there was 30 billion which was not paid the other year, that was added to 387. If you do that math, it takes you to 418. Now this year, there is no carryover, or I project that there will be no carryover to the next year. That is why it is 405. So 405, compare it with 387, not 418. 418, we loaded the carryover from 23-24. I hope I've explained that.
Yeah, thank you.
So I am not killing devolution. I'm a student of devolution. Remember, I am chaired Orange Democratic Movement Party for over 10 years. Party that believes in devolution from morning to evening. I would be the last person to go to Treasury and fight devolution. Ask governors. They will tell you if there is a friend of devolution whom they have experienced, it is John Mbadi. Since I came there, I have made sure that there money that goes to counties is released. And we started releasing even before the law was passed in Parliament to share revenue. So I am a supporter, a strong defender of devolution. Mike, I will take up this and discuss with the CS in charge of MSMEs, because his proposals on what to fund come from line ministries. So money that is meant for giving to groups should come through that route. I think Marco Lande, you have talked about 3 Rs, and I agree with you that reform, the recovery of the economy we are trying to do. Reforms in the financial sector, yes, we are trying to do that. In fact, we are implementing e-procurement to date, which has eluded us for years. We want to delink procurement officers from procurement process, remove human influence, so that people can see, you can tender in a more transparent manner. That will save us a lot. But then you ask the relief to the unemployed. Yes, we must do much more. One of the reliefs to the unemployed is to employ them, not to give them money, not to give them stipends. That should be the last resort. Even in the US, they only give stipends to people who are not able to get jobs. So we must make sure that people get jobs. We must expand the job space. You can only expand the job space by targeting those sectors which can create meaningful and reasonable jobs. Apart from the housing, which is ongoing, we need to work on manufacturing sector. We must now actualize this value addition. The agriculture sector, the leather industry, the apparel industry, we have the tea sector, we have coffee sector, with all these sectors, and we must make them appealing to the younger generation, the Gen Zs. You know, Gen Zs will not go to the garden the traditional way, to the shambas the way we used to. So you have to make agriculture and farm work more appealing. And that is what the government is going to work on in the coming budget, to align it to agriculture, to align it to construction and, mining industry. There were only two sectors which shrunk or contracted in last year, which have slowed our economic growth. One is mining and minerals. The second one is construction. Construction is because of the stalled roads projects. And also because the private sector is not able to get money from the banks, and therefore we have slowdown in construction of houses from the private sector. From the public sector, yes, we have seen a surge. Now we must give money to mining ministry, which is under JAJUOK, and we must give money also to the contractors, the road contractors, and we must lower interest rates so that private sector can borrow money and get back to work. I think I have only one more to address. tax. Without targeting specific families, because that will really be that will be political. I don't want to get there, but I will tell you, Kenyans, a lot of Kenyans, and very rich ones, are evading taxes. You know, and the doctors will forgive me. Let me tell you, even some of the doctors who treat us, they look at your mouth like this, whether your teeth is well arranged, and you pay thousands. Do you know personal income tax coming from such people is the lowest? Is the lowest. But again, it is shouting arrest. But if you mechanize, if you militarize tax collection, you will not realize your objective. So what we are saying is the starting point is to have a system, and the chairman is here. They are developing a system how to see. In fact, I've been saying we will be seeing you wherever you are. We see you, then we call you for a conversation. Yeah, we tell you, we have already seen you, you are not paying some taxes. Can you tell us the plan now you have with us to pay it? But I would agree with you, there's a lot of tax evasion in this country, and people who should be paying taxes. It may be some families, some other families, and other families, and other families, and if we are honest with ourselves, some of us come from families where they own rental houses. Rental income is the most abused. Only 17% of what we should collect, we are collecting. So some of you, including myself, who have rental income, please do soul searching. Do soul searching. At Mbadi houses, you have do soul searching. Are you paying us? Are you paying us the tax? You know how much should be taxed, isn't it? Two quick ones. If you have zero money in your pocket, then you can buy. I think I was just responding to. It is the same thing that I responded to. And it was asking what to do to put money. To put money in people's pockets is we must manage this economy, to expand it, to create jobs. That is the starting point. The moment we create jobs, we'll put money in people's pockets. This idea of having a few of us and then black tax too much is not very healthy. That's why everybody is complaining. You know, I am Mbadi. If I personally, I can feel the pressure, and I'm earning about $1 million, and I feel the pressure. That is before tax. Usifikiri hiyo ninabeba. Si baby, hata mimi I'm crying over housing levy, but my cry is lesser compared to you, because you a shilling for you is of more value than a shilling to me. Do you understand me? Yes, yes. If today you are given 10,000 and I'm given 10,000, the effect it has in my life is lesser compared to me. I will take 10,000 and go and have lunch with it naishi, where you can use it to feed the whole of your family for a month. That is the difference. So we must appreciate that there is diversity in our nation, and we have this conversation like the one we are starting. How do we support people practically? So thank you very much for that. I think now, yes, please. Yes.
So when you soul search, when you, there is tax amnesty. Tafadhali, take advantage of it. Between now and the end of June, if you fell behind, when you soul search, please come. There is tax amnesty for all amounts up to December 31st, 2013. Yani ukianza 2013 ukiangalia nyuma, kama ulichelewa, wewe kuja, hapana ogopa. Tayari waziri na bunge na rais wakapitisha sheria so that we give you amnesty on penalty and interest. Sasa jameni. So soul search, and please come. Don't wait for June. Come this February. Thank you.
Now, I know I'm very much aware that each and every